welcome to the Narrowing Path, walking the spiritual walk. My name is Steve Van Einstein. Thank you all for joining me today as we go through and do June 5th's reading of James Allen's Daily Meditations. I'm really looking forward to it. Yesterday's was a great one about perspective and understanding. And so I'm looking to see what it follows up with here. I'm sure it's just a deepening of the understanding of this, how much perspective can change a person's life. So I'm looking forward to it. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, of course. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading as we go ahead and go through this. So this will be my first time hearing it with you guys right here on this podcast. So here we go. June 5th's reading from James Allen's Daily Meditation. The world of things is the other half of the world of thoughts. The inner informs the outer. The greater embraces the lesser. Matter is the counterpart of the mind. Events are streams of thoughts. Circumstances are combinations of thought. And the outer condition and actions of others in which each man is involved are intimately related to his own mental needs and development. Man is a part of his surroundings. He is not separate from his fellows, but is bound closely to them by the particular intimacy and interaction of deeds, and by those fundamental laws of thought which are the roots of human society. One cannot alter external things to suit his passing whims and wishes, but he can set aside his whims and wishes so he can alter his attitude of mind towards externals, that they may assume a different aspect. He cannot mold the actions of others towards him, but he can rightly fashion his actions towards them. Things follow thoughts. Alter your thoughts, and things will receive a new adjustment. That's amazing. It's a progression about the concept that our thinking and what we think about shapes and molds our perspectives on life. And it also brings into our lives what we are looking for, what we expect, and what we desire. It's a pretty amazing thing to think about that, what you think has fashioned your entire life right now. It's amazing. So this opening line, I think, is pretty clever. I really enjoy it. The world of things is the other half of the world of thoughts, meaning it's all about what you think, and it's all about your mindset and your perspective. And that is what brings the thing. Your external world is the results of your internal thought life. So, and then he says it very plainly at the first line of the main body of the reading: the inner informs the outer. Right? We bring our internal life to the world. And we educate it as to what we want around us, whether we realize it or not. The greater embraces the lesser. The thought life is the greater in these two things, isn't it? The thought life is the larger of these two things, because the external world can be changed in a moment with perspective. So if that be true, It's the lesser is the external world, the physical material world. Matter is the counterpart of the mind. Just what we're talking about here with this whole thing. This is the result of what we think, what we put ourselves in, the people we put ourselves around. And the final part here, events are streams of thought, right? So as an event occurs, we see our interactions with it and how every step of an event, transpires, that's the word I was looking for, shows what we were thinking at that moment, right? So I think that's a beautiful line too. Events are streams of thoughts. Now, he goes on to say, circumstances are combinations of thought and the outer conditions and actions of others in which man is involved are intimately related to his own mental needs and development. Circumstances are combinations of thoughts. So different aspects of things that you've thought about, different aspects of your behaviors and your actions have brought these things into a collision with each other, for the better or for worse. But this part's really good, that I really enjoy this. The outer conditions and actions of others in which each man is involved are intimately related to his own mental needs and development. So what the people we bring around us show us a lot about ourselves, right? Show us where we need to do some work, show us how we are behaving, shows us what we like to associate with, shows us the type of, it's a good reflection of how we are and who we are, and the way we behave. A man is part of his surroundings. We're a part of the world we build. We're a part of the life we create. He is not separate from his fellows. He is bound closely to them by the peculiar intimacy and interaction of deeds and by those fundamental laws of thought which are the roots of human society. We are a part of society. We are a part of the population. We are a part of this world. He is not separate from his fellows. He is closely bound to them by the peculiar intimacy and interaction of deeds. Like, we have all of these interactions. We exist and we live in a place of relationships with our environment, material world, with people, right? We're very social people. We're very social creatures. We relationships are very important to us. And I think it's very cool that the fundamental laws of thought, which are the roots of human society. He goes on here, in the second paragraph, the body of this. One cannot alter external things to suit his passing whims and wishes, right? And that's where we get caught up. When we have this desire on one day and this whim on another, and we make our life so chaotic, there's no stability, there's no consistency. We just walk through, flitting from pleasure to pleasure, from distraction to distraction, right? And that's actually a problem. That actually causes us a lot of desperation. It causes us a lot of pain as people. We end up putting ourselves in positions which destroys our own psyche. But he can set aside his whims and wishes. He can learn to alter his attitude of mind towards externals, that they will assume a different aspect. So he's saying here, don't worry about changing your external life to suit your needs, in the sense of like, hey, this is going to make me feel good. Hey, like going around from interest to interest. Change your attitude of mind towards external things. Understand what their value is, or what their place in your value system is. Understand what they serve and what they're about. Understand these things. He cannot mold the actions of others towards him, but he can rightly fashion his actions towards them. This was a perspective and an understanding that took me a long time to get, actually. I always thought that if I acted in a certain way or carried myself in a certain way, that I could control how other people viewed me, and I could get them to view the person that I wanted them to see, which wasn't always the person that I was. To be fair, I was trying to give off a certain amount of prestige, or to have a certain reputation that I didn't think I actually deserved if they knew who I actually was, so. But I needed them to validate that. I needed people around me to validate that, which is so extremely unhealthy, and I didn't know it at the time. But when I changed that, when I got sober, I started doing some work spiritually, and I changed how I viewed people and how I viewed life. And when I took the power back to myself and really took control of things here, it was such a more peaceful living, because I wasn't relying on others to validate me. I had confidence in my own being, and I didn't need others to treat me in a certain way. I didn't need to have certain things from others. And when that need disappeared, actually, I got more of what I was actually looking for, in the sense of respect and decent treatment from people. And, it's almost able to be sensed by others when you need that to validate yourself. When you need other people to respect you or trust you, like you, whatever it might be. Some people like to be hated. To validate who you are, then it's a pretty crazy lifestyle. And you're just using people to get what you want out of life, to get what you think you need to exist. So to take the power back into your own terms, and to understand my value comes from how I treat other people, not from how other people treat me, is a very strong place to be. So he ends it with this: things follow thoughts. Alter your thoughts, and things will receive a new adjustment. That's what I was just saying, actually. That's kind of interesting. It was, as soon as I changed my thoughts on people and interactions and all of that, suddenly those things changed. It was amazing. It's so true. That's one thing I love about these meditations. While I'm talking about it, usually at least half the time, if not more than that, while I talk about it, I read the next line, and it's exactly what was relating to my experience of the line beforehand. It's exactly relating to my understanding or whatever it is. So the things he talks about and the things he writes about in his meditations and his writings directly correlate with my experience. And that's why I find them such a powerful tool, such a why I regard them so highly is because they ring true for me spiritually and in my soul. They resonate with me on a deep level, and they mirror my experience almost exactly, like most of the time. So it's just really powerful stuff when that happens. I love this. I love these meditations. So here we go. That's where we're going to end for today. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. Thank y'all for joining me again for James Allen's Daily Meditation. And I will look forward to being right back with you. So until next time, thanks.